welcome to my channel. My name is Doug and I'm back with another fountain pen review. If you keep coming back for more videos, please consider liking and subscribing and ringing the notifications bell so you don't miss anything. Plus, you can join as a member of my channel for only 99 cents a month, and starting now, that will give you access to exclusive video content, as I am now posting videos of my pen unboxings as I receive them. So you'll get an early preview of upcoming pen reviews along with your cool emojis, stickers, and badges. Today's review is of yet another new model from one of my favorite pen makers, Penbbs. They just keep coming up with new stuff. The new stuff today is the Penbbs 499, their first brass pen. About two of them. This one in matte black with gold trim, and this one in gold on gold with gold trim and gold wavy flamey patterns.
I love gold!
The black one's for me, and the gold one's for Win, who loves blingy thingies.
Shiny, I will sparkle like a wealthy woman's neck.
And this is not just a new model from Penbbs either. Closer inspection reveals some new refinements to the Penbbs nibs. So inspect closer right now. My Penbbs 499 has arrived, and here it is in the box. And so you guys are going to see this today, whereas regular viewers will probably wait a couple of weeks before I can get to reviewing this pen. But without further ado, let's open it up. So here we have two 499s from Penbbs. I got one for Win and one for myself. This one is Win's. It has gold plating, moire pattern. This isn't the first metal pen we've seen from Penbbs as they do aluminum models. This is the first new model for 2022. Let's open them up. Our typical Penbbs box with the magnetic flip front and the nice Chinese red on it. Should tell people that are new to Penbbs, when you open this lid, it only goes straight up like that. Don't bend it back, it'll break its back. And here's the pen. The sleeve, and there we have it. I love the gold trim. This is the first gold trim from Penbbs with that sword clip that is shiny rather than textured. And it's a hefty pen, I must say. Nothing on the bottom finial. We have a nice pattern, very nice. Nice textured matte surface. Yeah, it is. And there is the section. It's a little more slippery than I expected. There's this moire pattern, wavy pattern etched into it or engraved into it or stamped into it. I can't tell right now. But that's a little bit more slick than I expected. A nice gold fine nib. Penbbs. Yep, it's the standard nib unit, so you can put any of your calligraphy nibs into this if you have those. So let's open Win's. Ooh, she's gonna like this. Look at that. Beautiful. It's got that wavy pattern, but it's all gold. It is a pop top and has that same but smaller wavy pattern. So the Penbbs 499. Look forward to trying these out. And what I'd like to do today is go over the parts and features of this pen, show some size comparisons, some measurements, and then provide a writing sample. And after the writing sample, please stay tuned as I will talk about what I like and what I don't like so much about these fountain pens. This is the first brass fountain pen model from Penbbs as far as I know. Overall, it's a good sized pen at about 147 millimeters capped, and being brass, it's also fairly hefty at about 45 grams. From the top, we see a flat top gold colored brass finial, which has a lovely laser etched, cross-hatched floral design with hearts and a P in the center of the design. The finial holds the Penbbs sword clip in place. The clip is very familiar to Penbbs owners, as it seems to be on almost every model, but this is the first time I've seen the clip in a shiny gold rather than the matte gold like on this Penbbs 380, or the rose gold on this Penbbs Year of the Rat model 492. The sword clip is very springy and easy to use, and I think it's very attractive. The matte enameled black cap is straight until the gold colored metal cap band, which is a familiar shape to the cap band on the 456 models, but is slightly smaller. It has Penbbs on the front, the model number 499 on the back, and a couple of lotus flowers as decorations. And the gold band at the top of the barrel integrates precisely with the cap band to make the seam between the cap and the barrel essentially invisible to the naked eye. It's a lovely piece of engineering here. Kudos to Long and his design team for that. The barrel is straight to about here where it tapers about 2 millimeters over the length of the rest of the barrel, and we see the gold colored brass end finial, which has a nice curved chamfer to it as well, which aids in posting this pen. Let's look at the gold version of this pen for a moment. Instead of the matte enamel paint, the gold version is a gold colored brass with this lovely flamey wavy pattern, which we will see mirrored on both sections of both versions of the pen. The cap snaps off to reveal the said flamey wavy pattern on the long tapering section. That's a technical term, by the way, flamey wavy.
What is that thing you're doing?
It's technical. It's one of our little toys.
I'm contemplating doing a video highlighting the many innovations and designs of Penbbs, and this is one of the things that I want to note about Penbbs. This is yet another in a long line of different pen sections on the many, many Penbbs models. If the nib on the page is where the rubber hits the road for all fountain pens, then the section is where the rubber hits the user, so to speak. Yes, the nib's performance on the page is the most important part of any writing experience, but then the next most important design element, at least in my mind, is where and how I hold the pen in my grip and how that feels. If either of these elements is lacking, the pen doesn't work for me. Long and his pen designers know this instinctively, and that's why we have so many different sections from Penbbs. Look at this. Here are 5 of my favorite Penbbs models. From left to right, we have the 355, 456, 480, 308, and then a 323. This is just 5 models, and there are plenty more models with different sections. The 355 and the 308 have tapering sections, but with slightly different flares towards the nibs. The 456, 480, and the 323 have concave sections, but the 456 and the 480 have different flares towards the nib, and the 323 has no lip or flare at all. Each writing experience is slightly different, leading users to prefer one model over the others due to their individual grip style. These subtle changes are the sign of some real design and engineering thought about how various people grip their pens. Each Penbbs model is unique to itself, and the cap, body, section, hardware, and filling systems are designed specifically for that model. This new model 499 is no exception. Not only is it the first brass fountain pen from Penbbs, but it's also the longest section Penbbs has made, if we disregard the Penbbs 100 test model, because that's a hooded nib pen. The section is almost 27 millimeters long and has a small version of the wavy pattern, which gives it a wonderful illusion of movement with its barber pole spiral. Let's take a closer look at this nib. It's a gold-colored Penbbs standard fine mini fude or Waverly style tip. That means it has a slight upturn on that tip at the end. The nib and the feed are part of a nib collar assembly that unscrews for easy replacement or cleaning. And I want to show you a change that Penbbs has made to their standard nib units. I wouldn't have noticed this difference if it wasn't for Chris Rapsaik's review of the Penbbs 499 just the other day. He pointed out that the nib collar that Penbbs has been using for years and years has been subtly changed. Trust an engineer to notice such tiny, subtle differences. Now, I'm not going to unscrew the nib unit from either of these pens because they're both inked up. But here I have my 14 karat gold calligraphy number 8 nib, And here is a standard two-tone fine Penn-BBS steel nib. One of the problems that Penn-BBS has had with these clear plastic collars is that they crack. That's never caused an issue in any of my Penn-BBS pens, but in a pen with a clear section, you can clearly see those flaws. And they're now using a different type of plastic. It's not so obvious, but to a trained eye like Chris's, he noticed that the plastic is different. It has a frosted look to it, and it looks and feels more substantial. Perhaps they are more substantial now, and we will see the end of those cracks. But there's also another change to the tail end of the collar, where the end of the feed is housed. The old model was a tube with an angled chamfer that allowed the end of the feed to protrude through, whereas the new collar is like a cone with a couple of notches on it. Here are a couple of photos of them close up and side by side. I don't know what the improvement might be here. I'll leave that to engineers like Chris, but I will point out a drawback to the new design in a second. The section unscrews to reveal the included Penn-BBS converter, and good news for cartridges is that this pen will accept Parker long cartridges and Lamy long cartridges. However, because of the new blunt end collar design, that end is not sharp enough to pierce either the Lamy or the Parker cartridges, so you'll have to pierce those cartridges first before you put them on. The old unit would pierce that Lamy cartridge just fine because it's sharper. Plus, the pen will take two Parker short cartridges, one in the pen and one in the barrel. The inside of the cap shows a plastic cap liner, and that is where the section of the pen slips in with a positive click. And once it's clicked into place, the cap doesn't spin on its own, which is a bugaboo of some pen models. The cap posts on the end of the barrel to a depth of about 25 millimeters, which I would consider deeply, and it's very secure as it sits inside that cap liner very tightly. You can feel the end of that finial pushing into the cap liner, but it doesn't click like it does in the cap. But it does backweight the pen to the point where it significantly throws off the balance and becomes a very long pen in the hand as well. So I write with the pen unposted, but in a pinch you can write with the pen posted. Unposted, the pen is plenty long enough and the balance is very nice. That section is plenty long enough to accommodate all kinds of different grips. Even with the wavy texture on that section, it's a bit slippery, but that flare at the end of the section stops your fingers from traveling to the nib. And that step up to the barrel is not sharp or obtrusive at all. I bought this pen from the official Penn-BBS Etsy store for $39.99 US each, and I paid for the higher priced EMS shipping at $18.50 US to make sure I received the pens this year. I bought the pens on January 21st and received them 19 days later. I think it was worth the extra. Now let's look at some size comparisons. And here is the Penn-BBS 499 with a Jinhao 997, a Lamy Studio Palladium, a Penn-BBS 380 aluminum, and a Parker Sonnet. Now let's look at them posted. And here they are posted. The Penn-BBS 499 is the only number 6 size nib in this group. The 997 Jinhao would be a real competitor for the Penn-BBS 499, I think, if it had a number 6 size steel Jinhao nib. Those Jinhao number 6 nibs are highly swappable with Yovo, Bach, and the like. And let's swap out the Sonnet with a Lamy Safari to get a sense of scale, because everyone on the pen planet knows the size of a Lamy Safari. Now let's look at some measurements, and I'll be back with a writing sample. And we're back with the writing portion of the review. This is Clairefontaine 90 GSM paper, and this is the Penn-BBS 499, and it has a fine number 6 size steel nib. Let's check the wetness. This pen is very, very wet. right out of the box. I didn't do anything to this. It looks like PennBBS has been employing the Inkquiring mind's 7 strokes to inky happiness method of making their fine nibs very wet right out of the box. I don't know how I feel about that. Takes all the fun out of stroking it all by yourself.
Did you hear what he said?
The nib is very, very smooth. But as usual, it's very stiff. So you're not going to get a lot of line variation out of this steel nib. And the ink today is Iroshizuku take-sumi. I was hoping to have one of 2 new inks that I should have in my hands in just a few days. The first is the new ink from Ferris Wheel Press called Roaring Patina Black, and it's a limited edition for 2022. It looks to be a saturated black with a bronze sheen and golden shimmer. It was released just last Tuesday along with the new edition black and gold Ferris Wheel Press fountain pen model called the Brush. The black color is called Echoes of Eton. I tried to get one from them for review, but as they are a limited edition, they wouldn't let one go. But I just received the ivory white and gold version of the brush called Creme Glacé White as I was filming this. I just filmed the unboxing of this pen and will post it in an exclusive for members only video tomorrow. I'll do my review when my bottle of Roaring Patina Black arrives. I think it'll be a nice match. The other ink is from J. Urbain and is also a shimmering black. It's called Shogun and was designed by the late Kenzo Takada, a Japanese designer who lives in Paris, or lived in Paris. He just passed away, I believe, in 2020 or 2021. He was working with J. Urbain on a new ink, and they've dedicated this new ink to him. It isn't a new ink, but they just got it in at Reids, and I'm going to go down and pick it up tomorrow. It's a dark gray with a gold and red shimmer, which gives it a bronze-looking sheen. I'm looking forward to see how it looks in my new Waterman Karen Black Seas with gold trim. I waited for this pen since last November. And here are some close matches to the Iroshizuku take-sumi from inkswatch.com. And the line width this nib creates is 0.5 millimeters, which is a Western fine or a Japanese fine to medium. And for our quote: and some reverse writing. Actually, not too bad, it's keeping up. And some quick writing. That feed has no difficulty keeping up whatsoever. So, what do I like and what do I not like about this fountain pen? Well, there's a lot to like about this fountain pen for sure. Kudos to PennBBS for a beautifully designed and engineered fountain pen, in my opinion. This is the first snap cap I've ever seen from the company, and it's very well done. It has a positive click that you can feel is really sealing that nib. The pen also posts very, very securely. It makes the pen long and back-weighted, but it does post, and it is actually writable, posted. I've actually declared some of their models unpostable, even though technically the cap actually goes on the back of the pen. I'm thinking of the PennBBS 500 model, for example. Unposted, the pen is very comfortable and well balanced, and this matte black surface is like velvet. The pen is substantial at 45 grams, but unposted it is only 29 grams and feels very nice in my hand. I'm not a big fan of metal sections, but the texture does keep it from being overly slick, and the flare at the end of that section is well done to keep you from sliding off the section. The section is a nice girth as well and long enough to accommodate a variety of grips. Overall, the sleek design of the pen, from the very attractive shiny gold hardware and the sword clip set off against the matte black of the cap and barrel, give this pen some real class. I have not enjoyed some of PennBBS's other design choices, like the Year of the Ox design grab bag of styles.
That's strange. All of a sudden, I don't quite feel like myself.
This one is understated and elegant. But if you like a slightly ostentatious look, the diamond pattern and wavy pattern versions provide lots of blingy gold.
And that's the way, I like it.
Casey and the Sunshine Band.
And finally, the nib. Both of them. They're to die for. They must be doing something special to these stock fine nibs now. These nibs are silky smooth and very, very wet right out of the box. This isn't normal for PennBBS. These fine steel nibs are usually very dry with some good feedback right out of the box. I've never disliked the feedback, it's fine for me. But I've had to make them wetter myself by giving them the Inkquiring Minds 7 strokes to inky happiness technique. Is PennBBS listening to Western users and making them wetter? Are these nibs getting some tuning before they go out? Long certainly has a bit of a production line going for the hand tuning of the calligraphy nibs he's got. Perhaps there's some routine applied to the standard fine nibs now. As to things I don't like so much about these pens, the pen is heavy at 45 grams, but that's to be expected as it's made of solid brass, and it's not a small pen. The section is more slick than I'd prefer. I feel like I'm squeezing the pen a little bit more than usual, but that's about it. Is the $4.99 worth $40? If you don't mind heavier metal pens, I'd say yes indeed. Will the $4.99 surpass the 456 vacuum filler as my favorite model of PennBBS pen? Not bloody likely.
Walk? Not bloody likely. I'm going in a taxi.
And there you have it. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that bell to get instant notifications whenever a new video is posted. And you can join as a member of my channel too for only 99 cents a month. I guarantee I will answer your comments in the comment section, and you'll get cool emojis and badges. Plus now, I'm providing unboxing videos as I get new pens exclusively for members only. And that just leaves it for me to say, thank you for watching. And that's all she wrote.
I made this.